Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Today, we turn our attention to a landmark moment in American legal history, one that is reverberating through the streets of New York, across dinner table conversations, and within the hearts of immigrant families in our Arab American communities. I'm here to take you on a journey through the Supreme Court's recent decision, Trump versus CASA, decided on June 27, 2025, a ruling that has dramatically reshaped the power of federal courts and stirred fierce debates over birthright citizenship. 1. The stage, why we're talking about this now in New York, a city built by immigrants, by families who came seeking life, liberty, and dignity, has suddenly found itself at the center of a legal storm. The Supreme Court's ruling has placed birthright citizenship, the right of any person born on U.S. soil to become an American citizen, at risk of becoming uneven and uncertain. As you walk down Elmhurst in Queens or traverse the Bronx or spend time in Bay Ridge, you'll hear the anxiety. Community centers are abuzz. Families anxious. Will my baby still be an American citizen if born tomorrow? Advocacy groups in Brooklyn are holding meetings. The New York Attorney General, Letitia James, called the ruling a profound setback, a blow to immigrant families' sense of security. To truly understand the impact and why New York is so awake to this right now, we need to unpack what happened in Trump v. CASA. Explained, this was not a typical birthright citizenship case. It wasn't decided on the 14th Amendment itself. Instead, the legal battleground was about nationwide injunctions, a tool used by federal district courts to halt enforcement of controversial policies across the entire country. On June 27, 2025, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision led by Justice Amy Coney Barrett, ruled that such injunctions exceed the power granted by the 1789 Judiciary Act and should, by default, be limited only to the parties who brought the case. In simple terms, if a district judge in Massachusetts rules an executive order unconstitutional, their decision cannot automatically apply nationwide, only to those who are part of that court's case. For everyone else, the policy could still move forward unless they file their own legal challenge. This was exactly the administration's goal in the CASA case, where judges in Massachusetts, Maryland, and Washington state had each issued broad injunctions blocking Donald Trump's executive order ending birthright citizenship. The Supreme Court said those injunctions were too sweeping, overstepping judges' authority, and 3. The big picture, what this means nationally. Here's the scoop. The court didn't decide if revoking birthright citizenship is constitutional. Instead, they said don't issue broad nationwide bans unless you're dealing with the actual people suing. This means Trump's order could take effect in some parts of the U.S. and states where the injunction didn't block it until new lawsuits are filed. Courts may allow class action lawsuits which could still bring back broad injunctions, but that's not guaranteed. At the White House, the reaction was triumphant. President Trump declared it a monumental victory, with Attorney General Bondi calling it a restoration of constitutional order. For the executive branch, conservative advocates praised the ruling as a return to judicial restraint. But on the flip side, civil rights leaders warned this opens a dangerous patchwork of citizenship rights, where whether a newborn is an American could depend on the judge in their district. Justice Sotomayor, in a fiery dissent, cautioned, no right is safe in the new legal regime the court creates. She argued this undermines the judiciary's ability to protect constitutional rights. 4. Why New York is especially spooked. New York is home to millions of immigrants and children of immigrants, communities built on the promise of citizenship. Now, families are disturbed. In Queens or Brooklyn, giving birth could mean uncertainty unless legal protections are renewed. The lack of uniform national rulings means lawyers in Manhattan are prepping lawsuits, local officials are making statements, and the NY Attorney General is mobilizing. When communities feel this close to legal erosion, it doesn't stay academic, it becomes urgent. 5. The fallout. What happens next in courts and communities? Here's a breakdown. 1. Lower courts must now determine if narrower injunctions can still protect individuals. Some may refuse to limit them, risking appeal. 2. Class action filings could restore nationwide block but must meet legal thresholds. 3. New lawsuits may pop up in other states to challenge the birthright order. 4. Community advocacy continues. Town halls, legal clinics, and media campaigns to protect families. In New York, legal aid groups are training volunteers. Mosque and church outreach will be intensified. Media advocacy in Arabic and English will aim to clarify the stakes. 6. Emotional pulse. This isn't just law, it's our lives. Let's step away from legalese. This is about families. Imagine an expectant immigrant mother in Jackson Heights wondering, will my daughter be American? A baby born in Bensonhurst, will their paperwork be questioned tomorrow? Parents who've lived here 20 years, are they citizens after all? These are not theoretical issues. They become heartbeats, birthdays, festivals, shadowed in uncertainty. 7. Cultural context. Arab Americans in the U.S. For many Arab American families, promised rights from birth are central to why they came here. The erosion of birthright citizenship feels personal, a slap to the American dream. They speak English daily, contribute heavily in tech, medicine, small business, and suddenly feel their place is endangered. So, scripts and speeches in Arabic become essential, spreading the word, calming fears, offering legal support. 8. Broader implications for the U.S. This case is about more than citizenship. It signals a judicial shift. District courts may lose power to halt executive actions broadly. Gives a boost to future policies, immigration, environmental rules, voting rights, that frequently face nationwide injunctions. Raises the question, what is the role of lower courts in protecting individual rights? 9. What you can do, especially in New York, Arab communities. If you're listening, join community forums. Legal clinics are starting. Spread awareness. Explain in your language what's happening and what's at stake. Support advocacy efforts. Donate, share, speak up. Be ready for legal documentation, birth certificates, immigration files. Every detail matters. 10. Why this matters, framing for Arab American identity. This is not just a legal fight, it's about who we believe Americans are. That regardless of origin, every life born here belongs to the nation. That justice and rights are bigger than politics. That our place in America remains strong and secure. 11. Tying it back to New York's soul, New York is resilience. The city that welcomed waves of immigrants now rallies. From Elmhurst to Bay Ridge, they stand firm. From grassroots organizers to elected leaders, they mobilize. They say, we will not let citizenship be fractured by geography or courts. 12. Conclusion. What this moment means? Friends, this moment calls for voice and action. Educate, organize, mobilize. The Supreme Court's ruling did not remove birthright citizenship, but it made it fragile, conditional, uneven. For our families in New York, this is a defining moment. Will we stand silent or speak up? Let us stand together, raise awareness in English and Arabic, push for justice in courts and communities, and affirm that America belongs to its children, born here, everywhere. Thank you for listening. Keep using your voice, stay informed, and never let uncertainty become acceptance.